Hello, my people. There are two classes of people in this life, the controllers and the controlled. You can describe it however you want, but that is the truth. You have to ask yourself on a daily basis where you belong. In fact, you actually know where you belong if you're being honest with yourself. The controllers call the shots. They wake up in the morning or any time of the day, any time of the week, any time of the month, and they decide what's going to happen to you. They decide your destiny, they decide your life to an extent. In fact, to most extent for most people. So, you have to decide either you continue to remain in the group of the controlled, which are in the majority, or the controllers, which are in the minority, about 1 to 2 to 1%, or 1 to 2% are the controllers. We find them everywhere, in every aspect of our lives. We find them in our religion. We find them in our commercial experiences. We find them in politics. We find them in virtually every aspect of our lives. If you're a worker, you ask yourself, do I belong to the controllers or the controlled? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with belonging to the controlled, but everywhere and every group or any of the group you belong have their advantages and their disadvantages. But I would rather belong to the controllers than the controlled. And every day I make up my mind that I will belong to the controlled in different aspects of my life. Let me tell you, for instance, in business, the people who make the products, the people who employ laborers, they decide how much you're going to get. They decide how much they're going to sell the product, especially if they have a monopoly or if there are few people involved in such productions or in such engagements. So they call the shots, they decide. And if the controlled happen to be so much and it's possible for them to replace you at any time, it becomes even more disadvantageous to yourself. So you ask yourself, even if you belong to the controlled, which level of that do you belong to? Do you belong to the level where there are you can be easily replaced because there are so many people who have the thing you have, who can do the thing you're doing, who have your skill, the kind of skill you have? Or you belong to the aspect where there are not so many people who have the skill that you have. So you keep asking yourself. And if you belong to these ones that have the skill that most people have, your guess is as right as mine. You can be easily replaced anytime. And your value will be very less. And people pay according to the value they get. So you have to continue to ask yourself. And then if you're very honest with yourself and you want a change, then as you ask yourself these questions, you must be prepared to make the necessary changes for you to get higher than where you are right now. Everybody was once in the group of the controlled, or most people, because let me not say everybody, because there are monarchies in the world where Some people were born and they were born into the family of the controllers, and they remain there and they keep controlling people. Of course, even if you're a controller in one aspect of life, let's say politics, you may not be the controller in other aspects of life, like business, like the wealth. So you may not be on the aspect of religion because you might be a political controller and you say something and the religious controller may counter it. And if he happens to be on the higher level and more people are inclined to listening to him or her, then whatever you declare as a political controller will not have effect. In fact, you will fall into the controlled group, in spite of the fact that you may belong to the higher level of the controlled group. So we need to continue to ask ourselves, where do we belong today? You definitely belong somewhere. And at what level do you belong in that group? So wherever we belong, we must continue to improve. Me, I want to belong to the controller at all times. Of course, it's not possible for you to belong to the to the controller groups in every aspect of your life. No, it's not possible. But as much as possible, do everything you can to belong to the controllers, especially when it comes to things that affect your life closely. Like, I tell you my experience for you to truly understand exactly what I'm talking about. You know, I'm presently in Nigeria, and my daughter was supposed to make an exchange from a dollar account to Naira account. And normally, all you need to do is go to the app in the bank here in Nigeria and send the money to whomever is going to convert it to you to the local currency here, which is Naira. She wanted to do it. She told me to call the guy who is going to help her do it, to inform him of the transaction that she was going to do. So I called the guy and he told me that she could go ahead. So I told her to go ahead. And in about 5 minutes time, she called me and she told me that it didn't work out. And she's been told, or she read in the app, that she couldn't, effect that transaction. And so she decided to call her account manager. And her account manager said that she can't do it anymore. And she wanted to know why. She said it has been stopped and that she was busy and there's no way she can explain anything to her in such a manner that she would understand except if she comes to the bank. And in spite of explanation, even if she had explained everything to her, for her to be able to make that kind of transaction, she has to come to the bank. And she went to the bank. Now, the point is this. It's not about the change. It's about the fact that she wasn't even contacted. Nobody was contacted. I have such account. I was never contacted, either through email or through an SMS or any kind of message. There was no communication whatsoever. Some guys just got up the time they want and they made a change. And there's nothing you can do. And this is a change that's going to affect thousands, if not millions of people. So you see what I'm talking about? They don't care. Most of the time, the controllers don't care because they know you have no option or you have few options, if any option at all. So they get up and do whatever they like. They don't give a damn because the funny thing is that the controlled, most of the time, will remain in that group. And the offspring will remain in that group most of the time. Except if the offspring develop the mindset for this content and decide to do something about it. Otherwise, things will continue that way for them. So I told my daughter, you see exactly what I've been discussing with you guys. You must do something to be able to get out of every aspect of your life that you feel controlled on. Of course, definitely, there is no way you can get away from every aspect. But as much as possible, do that. What stops you from owning your own bank? Yes, what stops you? It mustn't happen in a day, but you must begin the step. And that brings me to the point of steps. We have steps that we must take in order for us to get to our destination in life. So many of us, if not all of us, desire beautiful things in our lives. We desire achievements, we desire successes, we desire to get to certain levels of life and enjoy some luxury and enjoy some pleasure, some comfort, some power, some wealth. And we know the things we need to do to be able to do that. Legal things we need to do. But we're not doing it. We start sometimes, or we start most of the time in that journey, but we remain on just one step or the second step. We never bother to ask how many steps is required for us to achieve this goal. We never ask. And most of the time, we underrate the amount of efforts we need to be able to get to the success that we desire or whatever we want in our lives. And sometimes we even underrate the time it will take for us to get there or the time it will take for us to get it, depending on where we are operating from. Either we're operating matter to matter or we're operating on the quantum field. That's a matter for another day. So we underrate the amount of work we need to do. We underrate the amount of effort we need to take. We underrate the amount of endurance, the amount of patience, and the amount of commitment and focus. We underrate those things. And when it doesn't work, because we have underrated so many things that surrounds the journey, that surrounds the steps that leads to our goal, our destination, we don't get to achieve them, and we feel that those things have failed. But in the actual fact, they didn't fail. We just didn't recognize the fact that we should have done more, we should have endured more, we should have been more focused, we should have tried to manage a lot of distractions in the way, and we should have, given it more time, more focus, more energy, more commitment than we had done before. Sometimes we need to 10x the effort we're putting in right now. We need to do 15 times, 20 times more than what we're doing right now. So we need to continue to ask ourselves questions every day. Where do we belong? And if you're not happy where you are, do something about it. If you're not happy with your relationship, with your spouse, with your partner, with your friends, with your siblings, with your children, with your parents, with your co-workers, with your employers, with your employer. Do something about it. There is nothing that is there that does not have a solution. Every problem has got a solution. You just don't know how to solve the problem. All you need is to seek for ways to be able to do that. There's a solution to every problem. Even though we don't know it, or we may not know the solution right now, does not mean there is no solution. The solution might take a lifetime. Who knows? The solution might be in seconds time, or in minutes time, or in hours time, or in weeks time, or days time, or years time. So it depends. And it depends on how much you go. It depends on the quality of the information you're getting. And from where you're getting your information, that will lead to the solution that you're seeking for. So you must continue to ask yourself so many questions. And it's only in asking questions that we get answers. Most of the time, we blame everything but ourselves. I'm not saying that there are things outside of us that can be putting us down or holding us back. But most of the time, we are the ones holding ourselves down because we don't want to do what we need to do. We know what we want. We know what we have to do, but we're not doing it. We don't want to do it. Or we're not committed enough to doing those things. So we need to make that change today. We need to ensure that we continue to ask ourselves questions, seek the answers to the questions, and be prepared to take the necessary steps towards getting solutions to those problems, those questions, and that is the only way we can achieve our goals and dreams in life. And we must look at the way we think, our mindset, which is very important. And what determines our mindset are the quality of thoughts that we have entertained. And what determines the quality of thoughts that we entertain are the things we listen to, the people we listen to, the advice we get, the information at our disposal, the things we read. These are the things that determine, because those things go straight into our mind and shape the way we view life. So we must ensure that we have quality of thoughts, quality materials. We feed our minds with quality materials, quality information, such that our mindset will begin to change. It begins to sink into our subconscious mind on a daily basis. And that is when we begin to do that. Because so many times you hear people say, no, mindset is not just the only thing. You can have the mindset, you can have whatever mindset, but if you don't take action, you won't get results. But I tell you, before you take action, you must have the mindset to take actions. You must build a mindset that enables you to take actions. It's just like trying to lose weight. You have to do some things. You have to be disciplined about doing those things. You have to do them even if you don't want to do them, if you don't like to do them. And that requires a mindset that is in you, that you have developed, that makes you want to do things that you don't like to do, that you don't even want to do. And because you need to do it, and you have this thought, look, let me leave it for another day, procrastination. Let me leave it, this morning, let me leave it till evening. Let me leave it through the next day. But you have developed the mindset of, no, I'll do it now. No matter what it takes, I'll do it now. You have the mindset of, no matter what it takes, I will do it now. No matter what goes on, I will do it now. That's a mindset. So everything is about mindset. No matter what it takes, I'm going to study. No matter what it takes, I'm going to read that book. No matter what it takes, I'm going to take that move. No matter what it takes, I'm going to say sorry. No matter what it takes, I'm going to accept compliments that I am good. No matter what it takes, I'm going to like myself. No matter what it takes, I'm going to love my children. No matter what it takes, I'm going to do everything that is necessary for me to get the things I desire in my life. Today, now. There are people who have the mindset of, I'll do it later. But when you have the mindset of doing it now, no matter what it takes, you'll start doing it. So that's why you hear people say it's not just about mindset. And so many people have the mindset of, achieving success, having beautiful relationships, having successful businesses, but they're not doing it. They're not getting it. It is because they've not developed the mindset of doing it now. And no matter what it takes, and no matter what happens, they are yet to develop that kind of mindset. They have not been in a position to be able to develop that kind of mindset. And that mindset does not come just in a day. It comes over time. It comes with discipline. And this discipline is also mindset. That I am going to do this. So you can see that you need mindset. Mindset is extremely important in everything we do, because every action we take is always preceded by a thought, whether subconsciously or consciously. Every action and inaction that we take, everything that we say or do not say, is preceded by a thought or series of thoughts, whether consciously or subconsciously. Most of the time, it's subconscious, on autopilot. Just the way we drive, because before we learned how to drive, we're conscious of the steering. We're conscious of how we match the throttle. We're conscious of so many things around it. But as we begin to do it on a daily basis, begin to improve, and after doing it for months and years, we don't think about it anymore. We just get into the car and we move. And sometimes we're talking with somebody, and sometimes we're talking on phone as we're getting into our car. We're talking with somebody, and sometimes we're looking at something else, and sometimes we're thinking about some other thing. But we're moving the car without even knowing, without even thinking about, without even thinking about the things we're doing as regards driving. So that's it. Now the subconscious mind has taken over, and our body is doing it better than our mind is doing it. So our body is used to doing it that way. That's what happens. It is with you in so many aspects of your life. It is with me in so many aspects of my life. We bathe the same way. We dress the same way almost every day. We eat the same way. So that's just it. If you want to understand how you are being driven on autopilot by your subconscious mind, if you have a clock in your room, it might be in your sitting room, it might be in your bedroom, anywhere you have a clock, move it today. Put it in a different position and see, in the next 2 weeks or more, You will, whenever you want to look at time, you will notice that you still go back to the old place that it was placed before you look to the new place. It is because you have been programmed in your subconscious mind by yourself to always look in the old direction where the clock was placed. And so you're going to take your time to change that programming so that you begin to know that it is no more there, but in a different place. Sometimes it can take months, if not years. Yes. Because even after months, or sometimes a year or two, when you're not thinking about it, you might even cast a look at the old direction or the old place where it was placed before. So we need to understand that our thoughts are very important, leading to the decisions we make, the actions we take, the inactions in our lives, the choices we make. So we need to begin to feed our mind, just like we feed our body, with the healthy stuff that will color and will influence our thought pattern and influence and then influence the choices we make and the decisions we take. And so that we will begin to program our subconscious mind in such a manner that it will work for us and with us in order for us to achieve our goals, achieve the successes we desire, and get the results we earnestly seek, and build the kind of relationship we want, and improve our business and build the kind of businesses we want. And in every aspect of our life, or in any aspect of our life, we want certain things to happen. And this is the only way that we can do that. It is either we do it this way, or we continue to complain and remain where we are. No matter how much you complain, no matter how bad you feel, no matter whatever you do, if you don't take this step to trying to change the situation you find yourself, you remain there. It might even get worse. So, it's been a wonderful time talking with you and, reminding you of this, because most of the time we know all these things. The problem is not that we don't know, but the problem is that we're not taking the action. We're not doing the things we need to do. So I believe that today you will be on that journey with me in taking the decision to making that change in the area of our lives that we see a lacking in the way we want it to be. And that way we'll be on the road, on the route, on the journey to achieving the result that we truly desire in the area of our life that we want the change to happen. So I wish you all the success. I wish you the best. You deserve the best. You are the best. Keep pushing for the best. I'll talk to you again. Have a beautiful day or beautiful night. God bless you. More.